Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you all are good. So today we'll cover 25 questions, most important questions of Indian freedom struggle, which is the very important topic, especially for NDA and CDS. Mostly questions यहीं से raise होते हैं and these are really very important questions for you. And before moving forward, I will request, seriously I want to request you all, please do like and subscribe my channel. Fine, so that it will motivate me to get some more questions, important questions for you all. Okay, so let's move forward. First question is, in the absence of Gandhi, the Quit India movement had been led by. Okay, so first we should know when the Quit India movement took place. So it okay, so which is the year? It is 1942. Fine. So here, in the absence of Gandhi, fine. So who led this movement is Aruna Asif Ali. Okay, Aruna Asif Ali क्या है आपकी, was an Indian independence activist. She is widely remembered by hosting the Indian national flag at the Gowet Tank Maidan in Bombay during the Quit India movement. This portion is also important for you. You should know about her. Fine. Okay. Let's move to next question. Two great socio-religious reformers of the 19th century who provided inspiration to the Indian national movement were. कौन है ये आपके? दयानंद सरस्वती एंड विवेकानंद, राजा राममोहन रॉय एंड देवेंद्रनाथ, एम.जी. रनाडे एंड जे.के. भाई. ठीक है, तो टू ग्रेट सोशो रिलीजियस रिफॉर्मर्स कौन थे ये आपके? दयानंद सरस्वती एंड विवेकानंद. Okay, so next question is, the non-cooperation movement was suspended in February 1922 on account of, we have already discussed this question and it's really very important. You should know about the incident of Chora Chori which took place in 1922, due to which non-cooperation movement was taken back and it was withdrawn. Fine. Okay, so when non-cooperation movement was started, in which year? It was started in 1920, and due to Chora Chori incident that took place in 1922, this movement was withdrawn. Okay. Non-cooperation movement was withdrawn because of the Chora Chori incident. Although he had supported the national revolt single-handed on 10th March 1922, Gandhiji was arrested, and on 18 March 1922, he was imprisoned for 6 years for publishing seditious material. Okay, Bhudan movement has been started by. So, who started this movement? Bhudan movement. Vinoba Bhave. Fine. So, who started this? Vinoba Bhave. The Bhudan movement or the land gift movement was a voluntary reform movement in India started by Acharya Vinoba Bhave in 1951 at Pochamali village, which is now in Telangana, known as Bhudan Pochamali. Okay, so next is, which of the following event was the reason for the withdrawal of non-cooperation movement? We have already covered this. So what was the main reason? It was Chora Chori incident which took place in 1922. Hope you all know about this movement. If you don't know, please do let me know in comment, so I will explain you what was basically it is related to. Okay. So next is, where did Gandhi call the Congress Working Committee to announce the suspension of non-cooperation movement? So from where he announced the suspension of non-cooperation movement? Bardoli. Fine. Non-cooperation movement was withdrawn after the Chora Chori incident in February 1922. The working committee of the Congress met at Bardoli on 11-12 February 1922 and passed a resolution suspending mass civil disobedience till the atmosphere was perfectly non-violent. Okay. Next is, the main objective of the non-cooperation movement were. What was the main objective? This type of questions basically appear in your NDA and CDS exam, which is really very important, and keep on practicing because you don't have that much of time. Fine. So at this moment you need a lot of practice, and this will improve your working capabilities also. Fine. So the main objective of the non-cooperation movement was. So what were the main objective of the non-cooperation movement? Restoration of all status of the Khalifa and attainment of Swaraj for India. Okay. Protest against the Punjab wrong and lifting of martial law. No, this was the main reason. And I would like to add one more thing over here. Non-cooperation movement was started in 1920. Along with this movement, Khilafat movement was also started by Indian Muslims. Okay, in same year, that is 1922. So along with non-cooperation movement, you have to remember Khilafat movement also, which is very important. And what was the main reason to start that Khilafat movement? This old status of Khalifa, ठीक है, restoration of the old status of Khalifa of Turkey. The main objective of the non-cooperation movement, okay, we have already discussed this. So next, in 1918, Mahatma Gandhi went to Dash to organize Satyagraha movement among cotton milk workers. Okay, so let me tell you about Kheda movement. Fine, Kheda movement of Satyagraha. The Kheda Satyagraha of 1918 in Kheda district of Gujarat, India, during the period of British Raj, was Satyagraha movement organized by Mohandas Gandhi. It was a major revolt in the Indian independence movement, and it was a third Satyagraha movement after the Champaran Satyagraha and Ahmedabad Mill. Okay, so along with this point, I would like to tell you one thing which is really very important. It was, and I think it was asked 3 to 4 times in NDA and CDS. What is it? That what was the first mass movement of Gandhiji in India? So what was the So what was the first movement of Gandhiji in India? Basically, first movement of first Satyagraha. So Champaran was the first mass movement of first Satyagraha of Gandhiji in India. This question was asked almost 3 to 4 times in NDA and CDNs, and it's really very important, trust me. Okay, so you have to remember, first was Champaran, fine, second was Kheda and Ahmedabad, and third was Kheda Satyagraha. This is really very important and asked many time in question exam. Okay, so let's get back to this question. In 1918, Mahatma Gandhi went to where? Went to Ahmedabad to organize a Satyagraha movement amongst cotton milk workers. Okay, next is, in which of the following movement did Mahatma Gandhi make the first use of hunger strike as weapon? So in which movement? This question is also really very important because hunger strike is covered, and this was the first use by Mahatma Gandhi as weapon. And in which movement, which Satyagraha? It was Ahmedabad strike 1918. Okay, Ahmedabad Mill Strike 1918 was one of the initial movement led by Gandhiji in the beginning of the 20th century. After his return from South Africa, it was one of the formative events in the political career of Mahatma Gandhi. The Home Rule movement was aimed at Home Rule movement is really very important. This is also asked many time in exam, especially NDA and CDS. So I have already discussed what type of questions they ask you from Home Rule movement. You can prefer my previous videos. And in which year it took place? 1960s. Who were the main leaders? Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Rest we have already discussed about this movement. If you want to know more, you can prefer my previous videos. Okay, so let's get back to this question. Home Rule movement was aimed at. So it was a home rule. Fine. So it was self-government for Indian within the British Commonwealth. This was the main motive of this movement. Annie Besant gave the new hope to country. The moment of England's difficulty is the moment of India's opportunity. She started the Home Rule League movement to be later supported by Tilak. It aimed at self-government for India within the British Commonwealth. Okay, so who among the following had pioneered Khilafat movement? So who started the Khilafat movement? Important है वो Ali brothers. Fine. The campaign in defense of the Khalifa was launched, led in India by the Ali brothers. Okay, so what were the name of the Ali brothers? Shaukat and Muhammad Ali. Fine, and by Abdul Kalam Azad. So these were the three who started this movement. The leaders joined forces with Mahatma Gandhi non-cooperation movement for the Indian freedom, promising non-violence in return for his support of the Khalifat movement. It's really very important, and name of the leaders are very important. Okay, the non-cooperation movement started when it started in 1920, and along with this, just remember the Khilafat movement also, which was also started in 1920. Okay, the objectives of the Kuka movement in Punjab. So what were the objectives of Kuka movement? To purify religion of its abuse and superstitious, and revival of Sikh sovereignty, both A and B. When was the non-cooperation movement started by Mahatma Gandhi? Okay, so when it was started Because of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. There's a reason behind starting every movement. Okay, so we have already discussed, but let me repeat. This will make easy to understand you all. In 1919, due to Rowlatt Act, just learn history as a story. If you learn it as a story, you will never forget it. Fine. So, due to 1919 Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place, and due to this Jallianwala Bagh incident, non-cooperation movement was started. Fine. Okay, so it was led by Mahatma Gandhi after Jallianwala Bagh massacre and lasted from 1920 to February 1922. It aimed to resist British rule in India through the non-violent means or ahimsa. Okay, so which was the main cause for starting the Quit India movement in 1942? Okay, so here Quit India movement, fine. They are asking about the main cause starting of Quit India movement. So what was the main reason? Failure of the Cripps mission. Fine. Cripps mission failed to fulfill the desire of the Indian political leaders of the different political parties to make constitution assemblies. So INC committee and Gandhiji decided to launch a movement on 8 August 1942 named Quit India Movement from Guarantang Maidan. Gandhiji gave the slogan "Do or Die." Okay, when was the Mahatma Gandhi arrested during the Quit India movement? In 1942. So when he was arrested? He was arrested on 9th August 1942. Okay. 17th, one-time associated of Mahatma Gandhi broke off from him and launched a radical movement called Self-Respect Movement. Who was he? So who was he? In 1925, Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy founded the Self-Respect Movement. It was aimed to achieve a society where backward castes to have equal human right. Fine. So E.V. Ramaswamy. I will recommend you and suggest you to just take a notebook and prepare your notes. Just write these key points in your notebook, that who started self-respect movement, E.V. Ramaswamy, and okay, so when Gandhiji was arrested during Quit India movement on 8 August 1942, they started this movement. On the very next day, he was arrested by the British government. Okay, which of the following is the correct chronological order of the establishment of parties during Indian struggle movement? So here you should know, if you know the year when this movement or this parties was started or introduced, only then you will be able to solve this question. So if you know when the Indian National Congress was started and in which year Swaraj Party Muslim League, only then you will be able to do this question. So let's first see in which year they are started. Okay, so Indian National Congress 1885, Muslim League 1906, Justice Party 1970 and Swaraj Party 1923. So the chronological order is this: Indian National Congress 1885, Muslim League 1906, Justice Party and Swaraj Party 1923. Fine. Years are very important, and they'll give you questions in the form of match of the following, and you have to correct it or match it. The slogan of Vande Mataram was first adopted during the movement, or during which movement? So in which movement Vande Mataram slogan was adopted? It was Swadeshi movement. The slogan of Vande Mataram was the first adopted during Swadeshi movement, that was a part of the Indian independence movement. This movement is also referred to anti-Bengal partition movement. It took place between 1905 and okay. So here I just want to add some more questions for you. Okay, here partition of Bengal movement. Okay, so related to partition of Bengal, questions will come like in which year partition of Bengal took place. Fine. And who was the viceroy during that period, and during cancellation of partition of Bengal, who was the viceroy, and in which year partition of Bengal was cancelled. So these are the questions related to partition of Bengal, and really very important, because these are some moments which are very important for the exam purpose. The earliest nationalists to commit political dacoits, features of the later revolutionary movement was, so who were they? Vasudev, Balwant and K. Okay. The earliest nationalists to commit political dacoit as was Vasudev, Balwant And he was an Indian independence activist and revolutionary who sought India's independence from British. Patki was moved by the plight of the farmers community during British Raj, and he believed that Swaraj was the only remedy for ills. Okay, so oh sorry, I just forgot this question. Who among the following played an important role in Gadar movement? Okay, so Gadar movement, we have already discussed about this movement. What was it? You can prefer the earlier videos. Okay, so Gadar movement. Who started this movement? Lala Hardayal, and just remember the name of Sohan Singh Bakna also, who is also related to this movement only. Okay, Lala Hardayal played an important role in Gadar movement. The head office of the Gadar party was located in San Francisco. This is also important. They might ask you, and they have already asked many times. Fine. Arrange the following events in the sequence with reference to the Indian freedom saga. Okay, Surat split, launch of non-cooperation movement. You will be able to do this question if you know the year. Okay, Surat split, when did Surat split took place? In it was in 1907. Non-cooperation movement 1907. Fine. Non-cooperation movement 1920. Rowlatt Act 1919. So just arrange it in chronological order. It's C. Fine. Indian Press Act 1910. Okay, so who joined the Indian National Secular Society in 1874 and worked in the free thought and radical movement led by Charles Barlaf, MP? So who joined it? Annie Besant. Annie Besant joined the National Secular Society in 1874 and worked in free thought and radical movement led by Charles. The civil disobedience movement had been led in Northwest Frontier Province by whom? So, who led this movement in Northwest Frontier Province? It was Khan Abdul Zafar Khan. Okay, Khan Zafar Khan was arrested and sent to jail, the first of many spells of he entered in British India and then in Pakistan, totally 27 years. The defining movement of Zafar Khan and the Pakistan he led was the civil disobedience movement of 1930. The Swadeshi movement was launched as the protest against division of Bengal with a view to improve the economic condition of the people, of encouraging या फिर as a protest against the massacre of Indian people at Jallianwala Bagh due to failure of the British government to introduce responsible government in India. Basically, the reason of launching this movement was to protest against partition of Bengal. Fine. So, in which year partition of Bengal took place? It was in 1905, and this movement was also launched in 1905 just to protest against the partition of Bengal. Fine. So, what was the main reason against this movement? As the protest against division of Bengal. Lord Curzon announced the division of Bengal in 1905. As a result of this, Swadeshi movement was launched in different regions of India. Okay, so here in this video we have covered 25 questions which are really very important for your exams, especially for NDA and CDS and other competitive exams also. So do practice, and I seriously I want to request you all, please subscribe my channel. It is a kind of motivation for me so that I can bring more videos for you, more important questions for you and for exam. Fine. So please do support me also so that I can bring more videos for you, more important questions for you. Thank you so much, and please like and subscribe.